We are here at the home of Ovide Lamontagne once more. He has just completed yet another Granite Oath PAC event, this time with Governor Perry.
Right.
With a Republican out of Texas and has been the Texas governor for the last 10 years. How do you think it went?
I think it went very well for him. It appears he really does meet very well one-on-one with people. He made a very nice presentation at the very beginning of the event. And I think that Governor Perry is going to continue to earn support of people of New Hampshire. I don't think it's a two-person race yet at all, but I also think there's a lot of fluidity among the voters in terms of where they might break. People are backing one candidate and then moving away to someone else. So I think he has the ability to really take hold here, but he's got to spend more time in grassroots activities like he did today and here at our home.
Now, certainly, I got here early for once, being on a weekend.
Nice job, by the way.
Yes. When I talked to a lot of people, they do not want to be interviewed by me for obvious reasons, but I asked them, supporting or listening, and I got far more listening than I did supporters at this point in time. So it kind of backs up your point that they're still trying to say, who am I going to go? Are you surprised by that, by this crowd?
You know, I'm not. This is a very eclectic crowd, probably as eclectic in terms of regional distribution. We have people from all 10 counties, I think, here today. And people who are not necessarily activists in their own right within the party, but maybe activists in Liberty Movement or 9/12 movement. And so it was a very good mix of folks. And I was surprised at the number of people who were at least open to his candidacy, but were not willing to commit. And a lot of them were sporting Perry stickers because the Perry people put them on. But this is good for him. If I'm a candidate, I want to come to a room of undecided people. And if I come into a room with people who are already with me, it's a great time, but I'm not making any progress. If I come into a room of people who are undecided or maybe leaning to someone else, I'd like to be able to have a chance to make my case, to connect with them, and then hopefully earn their support that I can be the best candidate in a general election and win and serve them. So that's the chance he was given today.
Now that was a great segue for you as well, your last words, because I did see a number of people here with Ovide buttons. And you are obviously the first candidate to announce for governor.
Right.
And talking with them as well, pretty much most of them are going to be backing you, if not already backing you, for that race.
Yes.
I've got a couple questions on the assumption that you do win the nomination and you do go to win the general election.
Okay.
The Democrats are now coming forward.
I like your optimism, by the way, of that scenario. Yeah.
What is it that you would do radically different, if at all, that what Governor Lynch has or has not done?
Well, my leadership would be radically different in the sense of the policy positions I take. I would have signed right to work. I would have signed Senate Bill 88, the self-defense law. I would have directed my Attorney General to sue the federal government and join those other states to declare Obamacare unconstitutional. And if he didn't do it because he was appointed by Governor Lynch, I'll do it myself. And there's some things that we need to be doing in New Hampshire right now if we want to try to jumpstart our economy, reform state government, and make the state it can be for families, for businesses, and a great place to live. And we're losing the New Hampshire advantage because we've allowed over-regulation, we've allowed spending to be out of control. We've taken the first step in this legislative cycle to try to bring fiscal sanity to the state government. Now we need to reform our delivery system so that it's the most efficient possible, the most inexpensive in a sense, and also the most effective for bringing us forward.
One of the things we talked about on GrokTV this morning, our internet radio show, was the FCC and net neutrality, where basically it's the FCC saying we're going to now control and regulate the internet, although they have no basis in law to do so. So we have a governmental agency extending its reach and its power all on its own. We know that it happens down in D.C., but it also happens here in New Hampshire. My question to you, Ovide, is do you think that that is a severe problem here in New Hampshire? And if so, under the rubric of what Governor Perry says of making D.C. as inconsequential as possible, what would you be doing to make government here at the state level in New Hampshire as inconsequential as necessary?
Well, let's admit it. There's been an explosion of regulation at the national level and in New Hampshire, and all you have to do is talk to business people around the state. Many of them are my clients who deal with regulators who randomly come to their places of business and from a number of different departments, and issue edicts and decrees that are unwieldy, expensive, and really not adding value. We need to take a look at all of our regulations. I'd like to start from scratch, frankly, and I think a lot of legislators would too, and really limit the rulemaking authority of state agencies. That should be legislation, not rulemaking, and then put a check on what they can do in terms of, to the extent we give them some limited rulemaking power in terms of regulation. People are horrified. Legislators who are elected are horrified to find out oftentimes how far agencies have gone to really read into the law a lot more authority than they were granted in the first place. And that's the first step we need to take in order to try to make us a more business-friendly environment. That's to make our regulations and regulatory structure simple as possible, as easy to follow and comply with as possible, as limited as possible. And I'll be a governor that will work to do that.
Okay. One last question, because I know that you've got some other things to do.
Yes.
But let me ask, for the Department of Education here in New Hampshire, would you be appointing Jorge Mesa Tejada to head that up?
I love Jorge. Jorge and I have worked for over 20 years on educational issues, and it's that kind of insight and perspective. And the thing about Jorge I like is he's willing to take on some new initiatives, new ideas, and he does it in a very agreeable way. That's very important for conservatives and for sort of the new direction I'd want to take in the state government. And that is, we can do it. We can help people, bring people to the point of view that what we're proposing is good for them, good for the state, without being a negative. And if you're angry and oppositional with people, it's hard to get them to yes. But Jorge brings the kind of can-do spirit and insight and really good intelligence to a problem. And the schools have had problems over the years, and so I can't say I'd appoint him, but I could say I'd like to appoint somebody like him.
Okay. Well, very good. Ovide, I want to say thank you very much for taking a few minutes with GraniteGrok.
Thank you.
And we will catch up with you a little later on.
I sure hope so. Thanks, Skip.
Podium, yeah.
GrokTV.